Before we begin this powerful story, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We share real stories that inspire, teach, and stay with you. Your support helps us keep them going. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Go to Pharaoh and tell him, 'This is what the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, says. Let my people go, so they may worship me. If you refuse and keep holding them, the hand of the Lord will bring a terrible plague on your livestock, your horses, donkeys, camels, cattle, sheep, and goats. But the Lord will make a distinction between the livestock of Israel and that of Egypt, so that nothing belonging to the Israelites will die.'" The Lord set a time and said, "Tomorrow I will do this in the land." And the next day the Lord did it. All the livestock of the Egyptians died, but not one animal belonging to the Israelites perished. Pharaoh sent officials to investigate and found that not even one of the Israelite animals had died. But Pharaoh's heart remained hard, and he still refused to let the people go. Then the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "Take handfuls of soot from a furnace. Let Moses toss it into the air in front of Pharaoh. It will become fine dust over the whole land of Egypt and cause festering boils to break out on people and animals." So they took soot and stood before Pharaoh. Moses threw it into the air, and boils broke out on everyone. Even the magicians could not stand before Moses because of the boils. They were suffering too. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he did not listen. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Get up early in the morning, confront Pharaoh, and say, 'This is what the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, says. Let my people go, so they may worship me. For this time I will send the full force of my plagues against you, your officials, and your people, so you may know that there is no one like me in all the earth.'" God said, "I could have wiped you off the earth, but I have raised you up to show you my power, so that my name might be declared in all the earth. But you still set yourself against my people and will not let them go. Therefore, at this time tomorrow, I will send the worst hailstorm Egypt has ever seen. Bring your livestock and everything you have in the field to shelter, because anything left outside will die." Those officials of Pharaoh who feared the word of the Lord brought their servants and animals indoors. But those who ignored the Lord's warning left them outside. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand toward the sky, so hail may fall all over Egypt, on people, animals, and plants." Moses raised his staff, and the Lord sent thunder and hail. Lightning flashed down to the ground, and the hail fell. The worst storm in all the land since Egypt became a nation. It struck everything in the fields, people, animals, and every plant. Only in the land of Goshen, where the Israelites lived, there was no hail. Pharaoh summoned Moses and Aaron and said, "This time I have sinned. The Lord is in the right, and I and my people are in the wrong. Pray to the Lord. We've had enough thunder and hail. I will let you go." Moses replied, "When I've left the city, I'll spread out my hands to the Lord. The thunder will stop, and there will be no more hail. So you may know the earth belongs to the Lord. But I know that you and your officials still do not fear the Lord." Moses left Pharaoh, stretched out his hands to the Lord, and the thunder and hail stopped. But Pharaoh's heart was again hardened. He and his officials would not let the Israelites go. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Go to Pharaoh, For I have hardened his heart and the hearts of his officials, so that I may perform these signs among them, and that you may tell your children and grandchildren how I dealt harshly with the Egyptians and performed my signs, so that you may know I am the Lord. Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh and said, "This is what the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, says. How long will you refuse to humble yourself before me? Let my people go, so they may worship me. If you refuse, tomorrow I will bring locusts into your country. They will cover the ground so that it cannot be seen. They will devour what little is left after the hail, every tree and plant. They will fill your houses like nothing your ancestors have ever seen." Then Moses turned and left Pharaoh. Pharaoh's officials said to him, "How long will this man be a snare to us? Let the people go, so they may worship the Lord their God. Do you not yet realize Egypt is ruined?" Pharaoh had Moses and Aaron brought back. He said, "Go, worship the Lord your God. But who exactly will be going?" Moses replied, "We will go with our young and old, our sons and daughters, our flocks and herds. We must hold a festival to the Lord." Pharaoh said, "No, only the men may go." And he had them driven out of his presence. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand over Egypt so that locusts swarm over the land and devour everything." Moses stretched out his staff, and the Lord brought an east wind. By morning, the wind had brought locusts. They invaded all Egypt and settled in great numbers. Never before had there been such a plague, and never again. They covered the ground and devoured everything. Nothing green remained. Pharaoh quickly summoned Moses and Aaron and said, "I have sinned against the Lord and against you. Forgive my sin once more, and pray to the Lord to take this deadly plague away." Moses prayed, and the Lord changed the wind, blowing the locusts into the Red Sea. Not one locust remained. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart again, and he would not let the Israelites go. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand toward the sky, and darkness will cover the land, a darkness that can be felt." Moses stretched out his hand, and thick darkness covered Egypt for 3 days. No one could see or move, but all the Israelites had light in the places where they lived. Pharaoh summoned Moses and said, "Go, worship the Lord. You may take your women and children, but leave your flocks and herds." But Moses said, "You must let us take our animals. We need them for sacrifices to the Lord our God. Not a hoof will be left behind." Then the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he refused to let them go. Pharaoh said to Moses, "Get out of my sight. The day you see my face again, you will die." Moses replied, "Just as you say. I will never appear before you again.